أهلا أهلا قافلتي
يا قافلتي المهنية.
هبت كالريح 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 قوية، شبت كالنار 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 وضية. هبت كالريح 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 قوية، شبت كالنار 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 وضية.
سارت بالعزم فتية، طارت كالصقر أبية.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله، وبعد. فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وإياكم ومحدثات الأمور، فإن كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. وبعد. My beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. If it was on me, I would have chosen something else to speak on, but I have been guided by brothers here to motivate you, brothers and sisters, or pump you up, or provide you with V, or whatever you may say regarding the issue of spending in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, I do understand that you brothers have such a big heart and such a big feeling for others that in spite of not owning this place but leasing it, you people have decided to campaign for the brothers in Bukhari House in Sydney. And this is a real beautiful part of you brothers and sisters here. And on the basis of this, I would like to basically touch up in the sense that, look, what you guys are doing is excellent, and this is what you are supposed to do, and what you are doing is not wrong, and neither it is something which is not going to be unrewarded, but extremely rewarded, definitely, without any doubt. We know that all praise due to Allah, the one who is the Lord of the entire world and the universe, the one who is most merciful, the most magnificent, the one who has united between the hearts of the believers, between the hearts of the believers. And He is the one who made us love each other. And the beauty part of it is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, إِذَا دَعَا أَحْدَكُمْ لِأَخِيهِ بِظَهْرِ الْغَيْبِ. If one of you make dua for your brother or your sister while not opening it up to others, meaning بِظَهْرِ الْغَيْبِ, meaning that you secretly do it without letting others know about it. You know what happens? عند رأسه ملك موكل. We all have got angels, right? They come in Fajr, they go in Asr, they come in Asr, they go in Fajr. Continuously we have got 2 angels as per minimum. Now, this angel, عند رأسه ملك موكل, his duty is that when you make dua, to say Ameen. So if you say, oh Allah, give my brother the latest model Holden, right? You know, year 2012, the one which comes about $200,000, not those common ones, right? You really mean it from your heart. You never know that the angel may say, Ameen, he gets it. And if you don't feel jealous once he gets it, maybe after a week you get it, right? Na'am, because the angel says, وَلَكَ مِثْلُ, and you also have it. And that's why I tell brothers that really if you want something for yourself, honestly, with sincerity, you make that dua, that particular dua for your brother, for your sister. And really, you will get it. If not in this dunya, then definitely in hereafter. So many times we raise our hands, so many times we make dua, but we don't find any answers for that. Why? Because it is going to be for you definitely in hereafter. Among those things, when you will face in hereafter, you will see the elevation of your status, the hurriya of the Jannah, the maids which you will be given, the excellence of the everything which you are going to have there, then you'll say, man, you know, how come I'm having all this stuff? Part of what you will be told is that, you know, the dua which you may used to make, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not grant it to you in this dunya, but here it is now for you in hereafter. At that time, each and every individual will wish that none of my dua was accepted. That none of my dua was accepted. Why? Because in the hereafter we want. Though we have been taught to make the dua, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنًا وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنًا وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Yes, we started with dunya. We are in this dunya. It is a verse of the Quran. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيا حَسَنًا وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنًا. So we started with the dunya. Allah started with the dunya. We are in this dunya. So there is nothing wrong in asking of this dunya. We can't live without this dunya, isn't it? But whom should we ask? Allah, definitely. And likewise, we ask for the akhirah. But when you go in the akhirah, you will wish none of my dua was accepted for this dunya. Now, so the beautiful part is that if you feel for your Muslim brother or sister what you want for yourself, it is sort of a guarantee, a security that you will also be provided and not looked over. You see that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Al-mu'minu lil-mu'min kal-bunyani yashuddu ba'duhu ba'da." That one mu'min for another mu'min is like al-bunyan, the pillars. And we know this is a very common known hadith which we always use. Kal-bunyan yashuddu ba'duhu ba'da. They support each others. And that's why you see we as ummah, as united, we stand as one. But divided, we are zero. And we should be in zero in the sense that we never be divided. And we also say one thing, always and ever. You know, some of the brothers and sisters, right? They have this concept, hikmah. They have this concept, unity. They say this is most important thing, first and foremost. They are deadly wrong. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was in Makkah, did all of them, they agree with him? Was it for the sake of unity when the kuffar Quraysh, they came and they said, look, we have one day of worshipping our Lord and then the other day we worship your Lord. He could have said for the sake of the unity, man, excellent, you guys, high five, you know, everything, come, let's have some samosas and kapsa and finish it off with tea. As many of these, the so-called Muslims, they do. Was that what he did, sallallahu alaihi wasallam? No, ya akhi. Tawheed is first and foremost. With Tawheed, unity will come if they agree on this kalima. Otherwise, it's not going to come. So our asas, our pillar, our foundation, we fail to understand what it is. And here, the blessing of Allah on you brothers, that as I said right from the beginning, when he started with the keynote, that it is a blessing from Allah that Allah opened the hearts of you people and of those who are naturally the admin side of it, and on the head of that our Amir Sheikh Abu Ayman, that yes, fine, if we don't have a permanent place for ourselves, so what? Let us do it for others who are in need of it. Isn't it? This is where the amazing part of it is, the beauty of it is, that you brothers are preparing yourselves for that fundraiser to come where you possibly may need it even more than them. But you said, no, let my brother have it. Help yourself to it. Allah will give us when the time comes, isn't it? It's easy when you already have a masjid. It's easy when the government is funding you. It's easy when you have things in abundance. But not easy when you don't know even if you have anything, or you are not yourself even secured. And this is what it is today here. Today you have a contract, tomorrow it's gone. But no, you say, that brother needs it more than I do. And that's why your preference was given to them. وَيُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصًا. MashaAllah. What a beautiful ayah which you can say as if it is being revealed on you people. Isn't it? And this is where it is. So for those brothers who may have been thinking twice or thrice, man, should I give it to them? Should I work for them? Should I do it? Of course, this is an encouragement that I'm carrying a sifa of a mu'min. Not only a mu'min, the Sahabas, this is what their sifa was. This is what they attribute to us, their character was. وَيُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَى أَنفُسِهِمْ وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصَةٌ. And that's what you are today. So we are, as I said, gearing up for that time to come. And we know that when we spend in the path of Allah, it is not going to go in vain. First of all, their manhaj and your manhaj. Their aqidah and your aqidah. Their way of approach to Quran and Sunnah and yours is definitely exactly same. Because those brothers who are doing it, they are students of your Sheikh here. Yes. So we are united as one in this. So now we know that when we do something, it is exactly for the same thing for which we stand for. So there is no hesitation regarding this issue. Now it becomes the second step, how can we help? And this is where it is. What is their project and how noble it is? We know it is very similar to this, except that it is far smaller in the setup. They also have a restaurant, they also have a bookshop, exactly like this, but very small, and also the musalla, which is smaller in size. But it is in the middle of the urban town, which is, if you go there at night, if we tie a ribbon around you and bring you over from Dubai or from some countries out there where Muslims are a lot, but hijab is a little bit, you know. And then we put you in a plane and basically kidnap you and bring you over to Oman, and then open the doors in your eyes. And, man, is this Sharika or is this one of the suburbs in, you know what I'm saying, right? Or some other, yes, that's the way it is, that the town, the life basically starts there till late night. And who are there? Maybe good chances 70–80% are Muslims on the road, on the streets. So you are going to provide for them. And then on top of that, it's not only that, the dawah which is being done from there, which I just spoke last Friday when I was in Sydney. What is most important? We are going to mention 4 things. Food, water, air. Which is the most important from these 3? The least important is what? Food and water and air. Which is the least important? Food, yes. And then after that, water. And then air. You cannot live more than half a minute without air. Very few. And if you manage without air for more than a minute, you definitely medically will have issues after that. And most likely you will not recover from that. There will be some permanent damage to you. You see? But there is something which is even more important than that. What is that? Iman. Iman, Tawheed, whatever you want to say. Iman and Tawheed is one basically. It is one. Whichever of the two you say, basically it represents the other. So here, if I start bring some, slides and show you the pictures of some of the unfortunate brothers and sisters, half hungry, half naked, half sick. Part of their limbs are all missing, and they are crying and shaking and seeking for help from you. You need to support them. When you see that, your tears flow. You really feel it. We all feel it. Wallahi, so many times we cried, isn't it? We do cry. I do cry. Let's be men. Well, you know the saying that the men don't cry, that's wrong. That's wrong. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to cry whenever it called for, isn't it? We cry, we feel, we suffer, we give. When you pass by the graves with big crosses, be honest, how many times did you cry? When you pass by all these churches with the crosses, especially on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, and we see those massive amount of vehicles and what they are committing, how many times did you feel? Forget about crying. How many times did you try to ponder and think? Forget about crying and being distressed? How many times? Walking out in the street after Salatul Jum'ah, you see these people, you know that they are not Muslims. You heard the khatib and he said about the da'wah and things. How many times did you feel that I should retrack back to the masjid, try to grab a book and give it to them? How many times? This is where we have almost failed. Sometimes we pass, most of the times we are failures. Why? Because they need it more than those people. We said from the four: food, water, air, and iman. The most important from the four is iman. That is what these people are missing. Not food, not water, and not air. They are missing the most important element in their life. Isn't it true? Of course. Those brothers, I'm not saying do not support them. It is our responsibility. But if they do die, inshallah, they will die as Muslims. They will go in the Jannah quicker than what normally we would have liked it to be. Just for the sake of the argument, right? But these people who are living happily, overeating, enjoying their life, because they sustain their life so well that they live as long as 80s and 90s and 100s, right? They are living happily and enjoying everything given to them. These are the ones for whom we should cry, really should cry tears, not a fake one. Because they are the ones who need you more. Those brothers, believe me, inshallah, they need us, but very little compared to these people. So our energy, our resources, talents, time, mostly should be devoted to this. We should have proportion of it. Exactly like when I said to these brothers, you know, some of the brothers, they are manhajis. You go and knock the doors of all the Muslim brothers. And you know which door they knock first? The one, that brother who comes 5 times a day to the masjid. He may be the muazzin and the imam of the masjid. They will go and knock their door first. Come to the masjid, brother. What about those brothers? We need to prepare ourselves first, right? We have to make all the Muslims perfect. Even the Sahabas were not perfect. Among those were, unfortunately, those who committed zina, those whose hands were chopped. It was a ta'lim hikmah from Allah that Rasulullah implemented it, but it's beside the point here, isn't it? I used to tell these brothers, look, in New Zealand, we have got 99% non-Muslims and just about 1% Muslims. So at least divide your time. If you can't make it 99 and 1%, make it 50-50. 50% of your effort and time, give it to Muslims. And the other 50% of your time and resources, whatever it is, give it to those who need it more than these brothers. And that is part of what these brothers are going to do there, and they are doing it. So you see how much, not them, they need your support, but you need the rewards of that support. The scholars from Salaf al-Salih, they used to say that the one, if he feels that that person, the one who needs your support, is in need of it more than you, the reward of that support, فَصَدْقَتُهُ بَاطِلًا, then your charity is batil, meaning that you won't be getting any rewards. Basically, you are going to come out of it rewardless. So your feeling should be, man, Allah has opened this door, another opportunity for me. I need it. They don't need me. Wallahi, if you don't give, they may get it from another place, isn't it? As I've just been told that there were big checks which came, but some people, you know, they try to do things, Allah al-Musta'an. That door, I said, we have our own manhaj, no problem on that. And Allah opened the other doors for them. And they got the same support. Alhamdulillah, that's why it is. So if you don't give, another person will give. So you should feel proud that another opportunity is given to me. But here what it is. Man, they keep on asking money. Man, I just gave 3 years back and again they are here. Man, if by mistake your boss pays you twice in a week, and then he says, Malish, it's okay, I made a mistake, you take it all. You will say to your boss, don't do that again. What will you say? Jazakallah, please make that mistake every week. Isn't that true? Yes. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Nobody denies money. وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ وَلَا تَنْسَى نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. It's okay. You are getting something which is halal. It is after all from Allah, isn't it? You want to refuse what is given to you by Allah, meaning if it comes to halal means, right? It's from Allah. That guy is not giving you that. It's coming to you from Allah. A way, a door open to you. So here it is, when more than one opportunity is given to you, why do we feel that? It is a test for your heart. It's also for me. Wallahi, by Allah I say it. We are all weak when it comes to this. Give time to the masjid, I'm ready. Because you don't see dollars in front of it. Come to the masjid, no problem. Take him to a flan place, no problem. Clean the toilets, no problem. Give me $10, problem. Because you see the beauty of the money, the desire in that money, the strength of the money, the everything in money you see. But when you know what your rewards are going to be, though you know it, I know you all know it, but we need always to remind ourselves that what it is really. Now, once Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he asked the Sahabas, you know, about the sadaqah, the charity and things, which is the best. You know what he sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about it? The best of the sadaqah is the one which you give in the path of Allah and tatasaddaq. When he was asked sallallahu alaihi wasallam about ayyu sadaqati afdal, he said an tatasaddaq wa anta sahihun shahih ta'mal al-ghina wa takhsha al-faqr wa la tumhilan hatta idha balagat ha huna qulta hadha li fulan wa hadha li fulan wa huwa lahu wa in kariht. Now the Sahabas, they were very smart. Hardly ever you will come across that the Sahabas would come and ask Rasulullah things to do with dunya. How many ahadiths have you learned where they come to ask Rasulullah about dunya this, you know, how can we ride the donkeys, how can we ride the horses, how can I plant those trees, how can I make the drains, how can I do this, how can I make the swords, how can. Yeah. He was a shepherd at one time. Did the Sahabas, they used to come and ask Rasulullah, which is the best technique to look after the sheep? He was an expert. I failed to find any of those. But they would come to ask about akhirah. About akhirah. They would come to Rasulullah and ask. So one of these guys, they said, Rasulullah, which is the best of charity I give in the path of Allah? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not say it's a dirham or dinar or a horse or a camel or a cow or a kangaroo. No. He said to spend in the path of Allah, be it this or that. But anta tasaddaq wa anta sahihun shahih. To spend in the path of Allah while you are healthy and greedy. Meaning that you are alive, you are healthy, you are young, or even if you are old. But it is not that the doctor already have told you only have got 24 hours to live because the cancer has gone in the entire body of yours. Then you call the lawyer and you make the thing and you call the imam and you say, you know, I want to give $100,000 to the masjid, and you know, and you call this. No, not till then, because Rasulullah says, you do not delay it till the death comes to you here, and then you say this belongs to Fulan and Fulan. It is going to be to Fulan anyway. You know that in 24 hours you won't be enjoying that another 100,000. What are you going to do with that? You only need maybe $10, $20 for the meal. That's all you need. Right? It's too late. So, what does this hadith reflect to? It reflects to many things. Anta sahihun shahib. You are healthy, you are greedy. As natural, we human beings are greedy. That's part of the desire Allah has created in us. If it wasn't for that, many things in this dunya we will not achieve, even of akhirah. Desire, part of that, you can say another name for desire is almost such as being greediness. It can be positive greediness, it can be negative. If you were not greedy to get the maximum reward, you may have been watching rugby tonight. You said, no, I want the rewards. You came here. So that's part of the shahwa or the desire, and part of it is greediness, which makes you here because you want the best of the Jannah. And you give other examples to this. So you have to be greedy at times for hereafter and not for this dunya. Now, anta sahihun shahih. At the time when you are greedy, at the time when you are healthy, this is when you spend. So when a person is greedy for something, do you think his greediness is for others? No. It is for himself. And for those for whom the papers will be saved through him or his responsibilities. And that is why almost all of us, in the exception of very limited people, when we spend in the path of Allah, we think twice or thrice or many times, should I or should I not? Should I go to the holidays instead, or should I buy a new car? Is it time for me to change my settees or, or the beddings or things? The winter is coming, I have to buy clothes for my children. Or should I give in the path of Allah and Allah will give me barakah somehow? You see, these things will come in my mind. Because I'm greedy, still I've got responsibilities, still I know I will be, at least based on what your health is, that you would be living for long or whatever it may be. This is when you are fighting with the Satan and your inner self, in your heart, your iman. This is when you spend in the path of Allah, you get more rewards. You get more rewards. When you have all the doors and all the options open in front of you, you could use it for anything. You can have whatever kind of shopping you do, but no, I want this time, this much to go in the path of Allah. Simple as that. That is why the reward for that is more. Exactly like Sab'atun yudhilluhumullahu fi dhillihi yawma la dhilla illa dhillah. This known hadith, I'm pretty sure I explained in this masjid also many times, 7 kind of individuals, when they will be provided with the shadow from the throne of Allah on the day when there is no other shelter available. رجل دعته امرأة ذات جمال ومال أو ذات جمال وحسب فقال إني أخاف الله. When he was invited by a woman who is beautiful, who is rich, who has got position, status, to commit fornication with her, he said what? I fear Allah. I fear Allah. He had everything. He could have committed. Nobody was watching. There were no security cameras there. Baba was at home anyway. He was alone in the car. Nobody could have caught him. He always goes through that way anyway. But he decided no, because he fears Allah and not his Baba or not others or the security cameras. Some of us, we refrain from this kind of thing because we fear AIDS. No, your refrain should be, it's good to fear the AIDS, but where is your fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So here, why did this young man deserve that shadow, the shelter provided by Allah Yawm al-Qiyamah? Because he was able to do it and he decided not to. Everything in front of him was open. Nothing is stopping him but his iman in Allah. Exactly like, you people remember the hadith, right? Those 3 people, when these guys, they ended up in the cave, right? Because it was raining and then the landslide happened and the big rock came and basically closed the mouth of the cave. One who took care of his parents, and one of them, he had a beautiful eye for his cousin's sister, who was very beautiful, and he wanted her. Somehow he could not. So one day she really needed money, which was in some of the riwayah up to 120 dinar. Now, 1 dinar is basically just about 3 grams of gold, which means here we are talking about 360 grams of gold. And I don't know the Australian rate at present, but in American dollars it is just about 50 somewhere. That's almost about $200,000 of money we are talking about, isn't it? Or even more. The moment she came begging for the money. He said, fine, you are in hardship, I'm going to give you, but I'm going to commit adultery. She had no choice but to accept it. But the moment he got ready, there was nothing, wallahi, stopping him. Apart from, she said, ittaqillah wa la tafudul khatim illa bihaqqih. Fear Allah. Do not open the seal but by its right. He left her, he went away from there, and he even gave her the money for the sake of Allah. And the rock shifted that much that they were able to walk out. Can you say one deed you have done for Allah, and if you are in this situation and you say that the stone will shift or it will become more solid? I don't think so. We want to try that one because I fear if we will come out. Because which one is it I did for Allah? You may struggle for 24 hours to find out even one deed to plead Allah with, and you will and you may not find it out. So you see, when you do something for the sake of Allah, the reward of that, at the time when you are able to have multiple choices and yet you decided not to, such as this man, he could have committed zina, he decided not to for the sake of Allah. This man, he was able to commit zina when this woman invited, and he decided not to do it because for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, you people can spend your money wherever you want, but you decided, no, I'm going to give pledge, I'm going to pay. I could do it for my masjid, where I go, where I deserve, my masjid deserves, but mashallah, masjid is going fine. But those brothers, they are in emergency. So I need to give them preference over myself and over my community. For the very reason that inshallah, Allah will give us blessing. Who knows? Wallahi, summa billahi wa ta'ala. This step you people have taken, you support them today, tomorrow, some muhsin comes and gives you a big check of $1 million or $2 million. Far more than what you people gave them. You never know. It has happened many times in our life. Many times in our life. Many of the brothers may have gone through, right? You want to get married to a fulana, right? And you are geared up, pumped up. She is mine and she is the only one for me. You know this normal crap which they say, if I don't get married to her, I'm not going to get married ever. And she is saying, if I'm not going to get married to him, I'm going to commit suicide. That's it, you know. The normal, it's, you think that you are the first ones who said it? Man, it is from since min ladun, you know. It's just that same old crap coming up and up and up. Now, you know, this kind of thing, you think that it gets you anywhere? No, right? So if you do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now here, I said, you gave the preference, so one brother comes and gives this much, or somebody comes and gives this much. It happens. Now in this, as I said, in this marriage, then you decided, no, she is for me. But somehow it did not work out. You got married to somebody else. Then in the due process of the years of your marriage to her, and she to somebody else, you saw the wisdom. Or sometimes even she is not associated at all, but you and your wife. And then you realize what Allah gave you is definitely better for you than what you may have chosen or had chosen. It happens to many of us, maybe 50 or 60% of us here, or even more. And that's why dua al-istikhara, it is, oh Allah, what is better for me? You know it and I don't. It is not that, oh Allah, I have chosen Fulan, Yasmin and Aisha, I want her to be my wife, and that's it, man. I'm not going to retrieve it and go take my step back at all. So Allah, I want you to get this done for me. That's it. No. It's not like that. There are some brothers, they make dua al-istikhara like this, and they come to us and they say, Sheikh, this is the way I made, and still I didn't see any dream. Of course, your approach is entirely wrong. How will you see a dream? And we think that the dream is going to come and sort out everything. So it doesn't happen that way also. Yes. So here it is. You may think that, no, we need it here more. But you don't know that maybe they need it. Even if they don't. But they have asked you brothers to support. Or maybe even not, but you people offered it. Now it is your turn to show your karam, your generosity, how generous you can be. And then the reward of that will come. If you don't see anything coming within the limits of this, your life, you will definitely see it after this life. So this is very important. This goes without saying, right, that we have the feeling for our brothers. Of course, alhamdulillah, that's why you are here now. You want to get motivated, so when the time comes, you are really geared up and pumped up for that. Also, remember, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Man bana lillahi masjida, bana Allahu lahu bihi baytan fil jannah." That the one who makes a house of Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, in this dunya, Allah makes him a house in hereafter. The only difference between the two is, this house in this dunya which you make is not permanent. The house of hereafter is permanent. This one is imperfect, with all your internal, mashallah, perfume going under the floor of that masjid, right, in the sewerage system, but that place is perfect because you have got nothing like that there. This house, you may lease, you have to pay this rent and this tax and that city rate and things. There you have got nothing. That is entirely belonging to you permanently, and this which you have made belongs to the community. You see, the differences are huge, ya akhi. This is the walls made in Australia timber, the carpets coming from China, the cement coming from somewhere else, the workmanship, Turkish and Lebanese, and you name it. You know, this from China, and that from Taiwan, that from Japan. That's it. But in Jannah, it is from Jannah. It is gold and silver, sapphires, emeralds, saffrons. Subhanallah. Have you ever been to a room where, when it is a little bit dark and the lights are flicking and you have that swing in the mood? How do you feel? The feeling is different from a normal place, isn't it? In the Jannah, imagine, it won't be those flicking fake lights. It will be real, colorful, different forms of sapphires, different forms of precious stones, pure gold and pure silver, not plated yellowish, which you don't know whether it is fake or genuine. Subhanallah, you know? That is what is waiting for you. That is what is waiting for you. And that is why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, once Aisha, they were given gift, you know, Aisha, the one who was very beloved to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in most of the plots which were done by the wives of Rasulullah, she used to be the leader in that. And still she used to get away, radiyallahu ta'ala anha wa anhunna ajma'in. That's a very beautiful part to read and get lots of lessons from that. Beside the point of that. Now we see that she, radiallahu ta'ala anha, once the camel came, the sheep, right? She distributed it apart from one shoulder. Rasulullah used to love shoulders, as we do barbecues and you know hangi, we say in Maori language, hangi, that's you cook it underground. What do you people call it here in Maori, in Ebro language? Huh? Bake. No, underground. Do you people know how to cook it underground? Maybe we need to send some Kiwis here to teach you guys. The Fijians, they know, because they do it also. It's called lovo in Fijian language. They will be able to add. It's really delicious, I'm telling you. If you really start eating that, you will forget your wife even. It's so delicious. Yes, I'm pretty serious about that. Not the last part of it anyway. So, you see, coming back again, Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, she gave it all, apart from one katif, the shoulder. So when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he came, he said to her, "Ya Aisha, what is left?" She said, "Ya Rasulullah, you know, I gave away all of it. The only part left is the shoulder." You know what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said? Did he say, "You did an excellent job, that's the way to do"? Of course, that's the way to do, or even better than that. He said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Oh Aisha, what you have given away is left. فَهُوَ الْبَاقِي." And what you are keeping is what is gone and is not going to be for you. Because you are going to eat and you know where you finish it off. But what you have given in the path of Allah, the reward of that has been recorded for you. No wonder. Who received it? Aisha. Who said this? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When the time of the Khilafah of Muawiyah came, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he sent 100,000 dirham. It could be dinar, but as far as I recall, it's dirham, that's silver coins, to Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha. You know what she did? If you receive 100,000, what will you do? First, you will pay the bills and try to find 3 or 4 more houses with the deposit to give. This kind of money doesn't come easy, man. So we have to be serious about it, right? And then when the rent will come from that I'm going to give out in the path of Allah, right? You are a businessman. All of a sudden you get money, you become accountant. You know how to calculate. The shaitan will really tell you, look, you have to, money makes what? Money. So first, don't be dumb. You make money from money and then give in the path of Allah. He will make the case so legal to you that you'll say, yeah, man, truly speaking, you are not wrong. But look at Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. She received 100,000. Did she make few houses? She was very near to Masjid Nabawi. When Hujjaj, they would come, they need places to live in, right? So if she could have made few apartments there, you know, between Jannat al-Baqi and between her house, and rent it out easily and getting free money, could she have done that or not? She could have. But what did she do? She gave that 100,000, all of it, distributed it right from A to Z, Alif to Ya, all of it. And she ordered her Jariyah, her servant, to give it all away to the poor in Medina. Then the Jariyah comes and says to Aisha radiallahu ta'ala, look, we have given and there is no money left. If you had kept at least 1 dirham, so we could have bought a little bit of meat. She said, Lo zakkartani. If you had reminded me, I would have done that. I would have done that. Meaning, she didn't have any money. The ones which came, she gave it all away. She doesn't have meat at home. Not that we have got 2 chest freezers, apart from the freezer, and still that is not enough. We are thinking to buy the 3rd one because the amount of kangaroos we have stored for 6 months to eat because it was cheap, so you bought it. That's our concept. And look at her. She doesn't have any meat. You know, and she was fasting. And she didn't even have food to break the fast with. In the morning, she's a millionaire. By afternoon, she doesn't even have something to eat. This is what it is. وَيُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصَةٌ. And it comes with Iman. With Iman. And that is what we want to awaken in ourselves. Umar radiallahu ta'ala, you know, he was a big guy, man. According to the descriptions, I would say easily he may have been about 6'2", 6'4", 6'6", somewhere around there. But he wasn't just one skinny ass less. No, he was big, tough. The Sahabas, they said that when Umar used to walk with a normal pace, the others at the back, they had to run. If not running, that is still like jogging to keep up with the pace of his. That's how fast and how big he was. He needed 2 people's clothes to make his 1 piece of cloth. Such as when he took his son Umar Abdullah's clothes and mended it with his own to make himself something decent to dress on. He was big. Now, in the duration of his Khilafah, there was a year known as Amur Rimada, the year of ashes. The only ashes you people know is which ashes? The cricket ashes, right? The cricket cup, called the cup of the ashes, which every year, I think in England, they come and pray the Aussies, isn't it? Here, there is something in Islam also called the ashes. It happened in the 16th year of Hijrah, when the poverty struck Medina and the surroundings of Medina. And Umar was used to eating saman. Saman is ghee or pasteurized butter, or you may say fats. What will happen if we eat fats? Tomorrow you will be calling 111. Is it 111 here? Right? And then you end up in the hospital. The doctor will say your blood pressure is up, your cholesterol is up, you don't eat any more meats, go and join the gym in IYC and make sure that you do this much of exercise, and you have to come after 1 week. And if you do not, then we will admit you to the hospital. Because you are already full of fats. But they used to eat fats. And that was sometimes their basic food. Not fats like us that you cook it with the lamb chops and there are few fats there and then you add some more. No, that was the entire thing they had. The fats, they will cook it or in whichever way, and then with the bread or something they will eat it. The way we do with honey. Time has changed. So when these things happened, people were not able to afford fat semen because it was very expensive and hardships were going around. So Umar, he left to eat. He decided not to eat. Maybe he was able to afford it for himself, but he decided not to because he kept in his mind the rest of his ra'iyah, the rest of his people. He is the shepherd and they are the flocks. So his stomach used to make that beautiful sound which you make when you drink fizzy. Right? Umar, he said, qarkir wala tuqarkir. You make that sound or you don't make. You are not going to get fats till the people are able to afford it. He used to take simple zait and simple oil and use that to eat. How many of you have eaten bread with oil? Yuck. With oil, other things have to be there. Time has changed, isn't it? Yes. But still there are people who don't even get oil. Umar, he felt the need of his shepherd, of his flocks. He decided to step down to be like them. I'm not even telling the story of what he did in that year, feeding everyone and all those things. This is what their feeling was, and that is what you people, inshallah, are feeling towards your brothers there. And then the rewards which is going to come, that's going to be massive and amazing. And I had so many things, wallahi, to say here. As you can see, even the screen is closed, and because I started to speak and totally forgot about this, so I might as well forget it. I would like to share a story with you people. You know, the adhan is at 10 o'clock, is it? Yeah, okay, good. In Riyadh, look, I'm the kind, you know, I don't like to speak for too long. For the very reason it becomes boring, you know. It is only that when we play soccer, I say, man, add up more another 20 minutes, you know. Because that is where the interest of people are. You have to be smart enough to know what to say and what not to, and when to stop and when to carry on. Otherwise, there is no purpose being saved from it, isn't it? Khairul kalami ma qalla wa dal. Now, there was this minister in Riyadh. He was making a masjid, way about 50, 60, 70 years back. And he told his secretary or his manager, whatever he may have been, that make that masjid only with my money. SubhanAllah, here what it is now. Make the masjid with everybody's money, but mine. I don't want single dollar of mine in the masjid. Go in from Fulan and from Fulan and Fulan. He will come and help you. Brother, one Muslim brother is there, another one, his shop is there. Come, come, come. But where is yours? You see? This minister said, only my money. So he started to build the masjid, and the masjid was built. MashaAllah, big masjid. He prayed in it and he went and rested home. One day he saw a dream. In the dream, he's looking up to the heavens, not to the lights here, but in the sky. There is this big, beautiful palace. Man bana lillahi masjidah, isn't it? Beautiful. And then he is asking, whose palace is this? This is your palace. Subhanallah. Then, oh, whose palace is that? He was only looking at one, and all of a sudden he sees two palaces there. Or he wasn't seeing the other one till he saw it. Or that palace belongs to that woman who made the masjid with you. Woo. Imagine what happened to him. He woke up. You know the way when you see a dream and inside the dream you are over speeding and then the copper chases you, you go 100, he comes 100, you go 120, he comes 120, you go 130, he comes 120, your car doesn't go more than that, and all of a sudden you are caught. And he comes to you and takes out his gun. Ah! You know. You wake up, you are all sweating. Your wife is saying, honey, what happened? No, nothing, it's too hot today. You know, and it's middle of the winter. You know, you feel shy to tell her sometimes. Here, this man saw that dream, but it was beautiful. He wakes up with that shock. He may have even sweated for all I know. He calls his secretary or manager, whatever. Hey man, didn't I tell you to only make the masjid for my money? Yes, sir. Didn't you take money from others? No, sir. You sure? Yes, sir. But I saw in the dream that woman, that old woman, who is poor, and he is my partner in making this masjid. Then he remembers. This old woman used to live beside that masjid. When these guys were making the masjid, you know, in those days, it's not the crane and all these skeleton kind of stuffs which you can bring on higher and then higher pull and get up, down and everything. No, nothing of those funny stuffs. So they used to take the bricks and put it in the clothes and they carry it at the back and go up. So when she saw that, she took the date palm tree leaves, she made 2 baskets and gave it to them. You take this and use it to take the bricks, it will become easier. Where is that hundreds of thousands in today's currency, we would say millions, which he spent, and 2 baskets costing her nothing which she made. And the houses are similar palaces in the Akhirah. He said to his minister, go and tell her that I want to buy those 2 baskets. She said, no. He said, go and tell her that I will fill it up with gold. Take it with your basket. She said, no. He goes and tries himself. She says, look, the dream which you saw is also the dream I saw. She has seen it. Even if you give her the entire dunya, she will never, because, which means she's selling her palace of the hereafter. What is the natija or the faida from this hadith, from this story? It's not how much he has given and I can't. It is what you can afford, really. That's all she could give. She had no money. Poor woman, old, fragile, possibly dependent on sadaqat and zakat, for all we know. And yet she had a skill. She used it. That guy spent millions, possibly. The reward, result, same. So it is how much you really can give with a heart of gold. Then you can qualify for the same. You think, man, these sheikhs of Saudis or the Arabs, they have got the oil money. They are the ones who can get to Jannah by spending, man. We are normal commoners and laborers and we struggle. Most of us, we don't even own a home. So how can we get those rewards of spending in the path of Allah? This is it. Allah does not ask you to do what you can't, but you are required to do what you can. We all can give few $100, few $1,000. Some of us maybe tens of thousands of dollars. So this is what you are needed to give. And one of the things is the least I requested there was 1 week of wages. 1 week of wages. If you people are about 500-600 members here, 1 week of wages is just about $300,000-$400,000. I'm pretty sure we all can sacrifice that much. You are not sacrificing it. In fact, you are buying yourself something in the Jannah. In fact, it is an investment, which it is. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Man tasaddaqa," the one who gives in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, idl tamra, the size of a date or something equal to a date, which will, if you buy one piece of date here, how much will it cost you? 10 cents, 15, 20 cents? That's all. That's all it will cost you, right? In the path of Allah, min kasbin tayyib, it has to be halal. It has to be halal. Allah will take that and Allah will invest it for you. Kama yurabbi ahadakum fuluwahu. The way you take care of your horse, a prized horse, something very dear to you, how will you take care of that? Unfortunately, hardly ever people that take care of those now, but let us say a pet dog, which is haram, of course, but based on the environment in which we are, this is very common. Look the way they take care of their dogs. They give in the will $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 million going to the dog after they die, and they kick out their children from their home. You know, it has been happening. It's not fairy tales. It is happening. Allah will invest it for you till it will become the size of the Mount of Uhud. So this is an investment in the path of Allah, not something which you are spending. Anything you give in the path of Allah is not what you spend, but you invest. Never ever say, oh, I spent in the path of Allah this much. It is, in fact, I invested in the path of Allah this much. Psychologically, if you say spend, you get back. But if you start using the word invest, you get motivated. So from today, you speak to yourself, to your mind, to your heart. When you give every Jummah $10, don't say I spent in the path of Allah $10. You say I invested in the path of Allah $10. Because psychologically you win over your heart and your brain. So now your brain starts to think, oh, I invested this much. You will not say I spent this much. Because whenever the case of spend comes, you shrink. But when you say investment, wow, investment. If somebody comes to you and says, brother, you have got $1,000. I want you to spend it in a place. Something, right? No, man, you know, I have got. If he comes and says, brother, you have $1,000, yes. You know, I want you to invest it in that project. So investment, because investment means what? Money makes money, isn't it? That's what investment is. So if you tell yourself from today, instead of saying spending in the path of Allah, investing in the path of Allah. So one war has been won, and that is, you will say, oh, I'll invest this much. I almost said the word is spend. If I invest this much is going to happen. And I'm pretty sure we all can handle that. Jazakumullah khairan for listening, brothers and sisters. And remember, if you remember this one, in fact, it is about 57 minutes of talk which I have given. If you remember it, you have this tape, you can go and repeat it to yourself. And give it to all the brothers to get that motivation coming. So if you give this tape to somebody to listen, or from your own words, in whichever way you can, and somebody gets motivated and he takes out $20,000, who gets the reward? You get it. So some of us, maybe we can't afford much, but you have good lisan, good tongue. With that we can captivate the motivation of another heart. So he spends, who gets it? You get it, right? Another one spends, who gets it? You also get it. This is the amazing part of it. Investment in the path of Allah. When you invest in this dunya, you get 10%, 20%. Others, how much they get? 100%, 200%? No, you are the only one apart from the one who may have been doing the business for you, be it through an agent or whatever, right? But the funny part and the beautiful part at the same time, when you invest with Allah, you know what happens? You get 100%, the investor gets 100%, and possibly the imam gets 100%, possibly another, maybe few hundred people can get 100% by one person spending. That's the generosity of Allah, and it can never be in this dunya like that. Never, never, ever. It is only of hereafter. And another funny thing, when you invest in this dunya, you get 10%. From that investment, if you do not invest it again or continuously, your investment stops where it stopped. But this investment of hereafter, though you have received 100% as a payment right there in cash, not in money, cash of rewards, it continues to increase, continues. Because those who benefit and those who come to the masjid, who become Muslims, who come to attend Jummah, who come for Salah, who listen to the lectures, all of them is 100% or in whatever proportion of the amount which was through you, you keep on receiving it. Another beautiful part of it. Wallahi, some of us, we do not want to invest in this dunya because we think of tax, man. Another 38%, right? Maximum. Is it 38%? 35. And then these guys who are in, what is it called? Interlink, right? CityLink. No, not taxation. We have got income support, what you call it here? Centrelink. These guys who are dependent on Centrelink, they use my money and I have to pay the tax and this. I am not going to invest. Or if I invest, the IRD will come. Is it IRD you call it here? Right? Good. Inland Revenue. From where did you get that money? The only amount of tax in the last 30 years you have been paying is $2,000 a year. From where did you get that money? Man, I can't even invest it. So you don't know what to do even with the money. But here, look at the beautiful part of it. No tax to pay. Nobody coming to account you. No IRD, no accountants. Everything is done for you automatically. And you don't pay them a single shilling to get that accounts done for you. Most accurate. Perfectly. You don't lose it. You never have to declare bankruptcy. And still, mashallah, what an investment, isn't it? So let's be ready. You have got another, is it 2 weeks for that to come? From today, you people be prepared, get going and get others motivated. It's not only your money, you want other people's money because the reward is going to come to you, not to that flan and flan and flan. Why do you want to leave it to others when you can get it? So you are only 50 or 60 or 70 brothers and sisters here. Now you have to get that to another 400 or 500 people. Jazakumullah khairan. I pray to Allah that may Allah bless us all and keep us all guided, and may Allah give that courage in our heart to be generous and invest in the path of Allah, of which the reward is unlimited. Jazakumullah khairan. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.